Yo guys, InsaneGamer52 here, and today I'm going to show you how to get 3 stars on the Atomgrad Raid in Modern Warfare 2. Alright, so the requirement for this is to beat the raid in under 40 minutes. This is very doable, but you do need to work as a team and have good communication. Unfortunately, you are only able to queue up for this raid with 3 players. And you will not be able to do a lot of these steps without communicating with your team, so having a mic is also necessary. Alright, so before you even go into the raid, you have to get a raid assignment. You can get this by placing top 20 in Battle Royale, exfilling with $30,000 at the final exfil in DMZ, or completing a specific daily challenge in Spec Ops or multiplayer. You can tell which challenge it is if it has this star next to it. Once you get a raid assignment, you can access the raid for a full week. To activate the assignment and unlock your access, go to the bottom of the main menu and select Atomgrad. From here, you will see in the top right if you have any raid assignments. If you do have one, then it will also tell you a button to press to activate the assignment. On PlayStation, this is R2, and on Xbox, it's RT. Alright, so once you get into the raid, I suggest that everyone runs the assault kit. The others can be mildly useful, but armor is your biggest friend here, and having 3 plates is too useful to pass up. Okay, the first thing you have to do is clear out all the enemies in this corridor. They are conveniently in groups of 3, and you have a suppressed EBR with a thermal scope. You can either call out your kills with your teammates to go in stealthily, or go in guns blazing and just blast your way through while also getting shot at. This is Spec Ops, so every enemy who doesn't have a helmet will be a one-hit headshot with any weapon. And helmets only take a couple shots to break, so aiming for the head is always recommended. Watch out for the claymores around you. You can shoot or hack them if you want, but thankfully there are none on the path if you stay right next to the water. Make it up to this bridge and go across to find the last group of enemies. Take them out and you're on to the first puzzle. You can swap out your EBR, but I suggest keeping your pistol for one of the later parts since only pistols can shoot while underwater. Okay, so inside the door behind the last group of enemies is a room with a bunch of equipment. This first piece of equipment on the left side tells you what code you're looking for and how many strikes you have left. In the middle of the room is a set of CCTV monitors that you can use to find the cipher for each code. On the right side of the room is the computer that you enter the code into. There's also a button on the wall to open up this door which leads to a second room with another set of CCTV monitors. What you have to do is enter 3 correct sequences to open up the massive bulkhead door right outside. Alright, so once you have the code, have one person on each set of CCTV monitors. Press the button listed at the top left of your screen to change through the views until you see this control room with a giant screen on it. Both sets of monitors see different control rooms, so there are a total of 6 values that you can see. Have the person who isn't looking at the CCTV call out each symbol of the code individually, and whoever sees that symbol calls out the corresponding number. Here is the list of every symbol that you can get, as well as what we called it. Feel free to screenshot this and send it to your friends so everyone is on the same page. Okay, this first set will have 3 symbols, so it's pretty straightforward. Just enter the 3 numbers that match up with each symbol into the computer. When you get the correct sequence, all the numbers will change in the CCTV as well as the display to the left side of the room. Once you finish each sequence, you will have to have a different player enter the next one. To get past this, you need 3 sequences in a row, so all 3 of you will have to enter one of the codes into this machine. This second sequence will have 4 total symbols, but one of them is a decoy. Only 3 of them will match up with what players in the CCTV can see, so you will still only get 3 numbers out of it. Enter them in the order you see on the display, and skip the symbol that nobody sees, and you're on to the last part of this puzzle. The last one will have 5 symbols, but it's really no different than the previous one. There are 2 decoys, so just call out each symbol, and if nobody can see that one, then skip it. Have the final player enter the third 3-digit code, and you're past the first puzzle. Make sure to let the player out of the back room before moving on. Now swim through the door that you just opened, and you'll see a submarine. To the left of the submarine on this workbench is an oxygen tank. For this next section, the 3 of you will have to share the oxygen tank while navigating an underwater maze. The best way to do this is to always stick together and switch the oxygen mask before you actually need to use it, just in case. You can just take the oxygen tank from whoever has it so they don't have to necessarily give it to you, but it's best to establish an order so nobody ends up drowning. Dive underwater next to that workbench and start going through the tunnels. This first section is very easy since you just continue straight while you get used to swapping off the oxygen tank. When you get to this wall, take a left. Continue straight until you get to this button on the wall. Have one player hold it while the other 2 head through the gate. Then have one of those players press the button on the other side to let the third person through. Right above you is an air pocket, which is also a checkpoint. Have everyone go up to catch their breath, then dive back down and open this gate. At the end of this hallway is a bunch of tripwires. If you trigger them, it will kill you and damage anyone else nearby. You are able to shoot this grenade to detonate them early, but you'll have to keep inching closer until you're just barely in range. Thankfully, you can sneak right by this one by going into this room to your right. Take a right when you get to the next hallway and go until you see this pile of beds. Swim over the beds and take a right when you get to the next hallway. Go through these next set of doors and take a left. When you get into this room, a random door will be locked. You need to get on the other side of the wall right in front of you, so either go right then left or left then right. Continue into the next room and you'll see this hole in the ground with tripwires all over it. Alright, if you want to shoot the grenade here, it's very hard to see and even harder to hit, but it's near the bottom of this pillar. If you aren't able to hit it or just want to blast your way through, then have someone swim through the tripwires to clear it. Then have the other two players backtrack so that all three of you can meet up and continue sharing the oxygen tank. Once you get back to this room, dive down the hole that you just cleared. Continue through the tunnel and you'll get another air pocket checkpoint right here. Now you have to jump out of the water and go up this little path. When you get to the hole in the ground, jump back in the water. Follow the arrows underwater until you end up diving down another 2 levels. Then swim through this hole to the south that has these metal bars above it. Continue forward and go through this door to your right to reach the next checkpoint. Now you're in an area with a generator on this platform and a button in the room underwater. You need to have one player activate the power with this generator and have the other push that button to let the third player through the underwater door. When they're through, activate the power again and have them hold this button in the room past the door to the left to let everyone through. Swim up to the safe area and you're done with the oxygen mask. Now you're in an armory, and since you won't need a pistol anymore, I recommend grabbing both an assault rifle and a submachine gun. This next part is going to take a lot of ammo, so it's best to have guns that use 2 different types just in case you run out. Also remember to armor up since there is going to be a lot of combat in this next section. When you're all ready, go and activate the panel next to this door. Walk into the hallway and enemies will start coming through every door. Remember that regular enemies are one-hit headshot, and it also only takes a shot or 2 to break helmets. Aiming for the head will help kill the enemies quicker and save you a ton of ammo. When you clear these enemies and walk around the corner, there will be a juggernaut. The easiest way to deal with him is to flash him and have everyone absolutely unload their mags into his head. He should go down if everyone uses a mag or 2 of ammo, so try to focus him quickly and keep him flashed. You can pick up his minigun when you kill him, which can be useful for killing other jugs later on. It uses that 100 ammo really quickly though, so you will have to be careful to not run out of ammo in your other gun. Once you clear out all the enemies, go into this door near the end of the hallway on the right. Push this button and it will unlock the door at the end of the hall. This will spawn a bunch more enemies, including another jug and enemy with a riot shield. Flash the jug to kill him and spread out so someone will be able to hit the guy behind the riot shield. Once you kill them all, go through door number 3 in the middle of the hallway. Jump down into the hole in the ground and continue walking straight. You will eventually go up a hill, then jump down into more water. This room that you walk into is a circle at the center of the complex. Make sure to refill ammo and armor up again because this next part has the most enemies of the whole mission. Around this circle is another symbol display and computer to enter codes into. They won't be active until you go into the 2 rooms that you saw earlier in the CCTV monitors and activate the computers in each room. The first room is around the circle to the right. On the way there, you will see another jug. Flash and kill him just like the other and keep moving past. Jump up on these crates and go into the first control room to activate the first computer. From here, you can take this passage to the left and go to the second control room. Clear out the enemies inside and activate that computer too. When both computers are active, have one player go back and interact with the symbol display in the central ring. Then the other 2 players should split up to be in each of the control rooms. This works just like the first section where you call out the symbols and avoid duplicates, but this time you're on a timer. The first set gives you a minute to enter the correct sequence before it automatically changes. During this time, enemies will spawn around all 3 players to make it very hectic. This includes bomb drones, but they're very easy to kill and you can hear them coming from far away. You are on a timer but have unlimited attempts, so prioritize killing enemies since going down will cost you the most amount of time. Have the player in the central ring call out the symbols and the other 2 players relay the corresponding numbers. There will be decoys again, so if nobody responds to a symbol, then just move on since you are on a time limit. When you get the first sequence correct, there will be gas that gets pumped into both control rooms. Get into the water to avoid it and clear the enemies before starting the second sequence. Just like the first time, you need to have a different player enter each of the codes into the computer in the central ring. Have 2 players swap and wait until everyone is in place until you start the second sequence. This time you will have 40 seconds to enter the correct code, which is still plenty of time if you communicate properly. Just like the first time, call out the symbols, but have everyone prioritize survival. When you enter the second code correctly, there will be more gas in the control rooms and enemies will spawn. You only have 25 seconds to enter the final code before it changes, which does require some speed to do correctly. Have the final person swap to the central computer and call out the codes and you're almost done. Now you have to survive for 4 minutes while the blast doors open up. I suggest everyone grabs ammo and armor and meets up at the central computer. From here you can have 1 player cover the left side and 1 cover the right, then have the 3rd player helping both directions. There will be 2 jugs that spawn during this and tons of bomb drones. Try to call out which side has a squadron of drones or the jugs so that the player in the middle can focus that to help you out. Just like before, flashes are your best friend against the jugs. You should be able to take out the bomb drone swarms with a mag of any weapon if you're accurate enough, but it's always nice to have 2 players shooting so you can deal with the enemy soldiers too. Feel free to use your assault suits here to soak up some of the damage when fighting a jug. They do break easily, but will give you a nice chance to mow into the jug, plus you come out with full armor. When you survive the 4 minutes, all you have to do is finish killing the rest of the enemies. Then have all 3 players interact with the blast door and you're good to go. If you found this guide helpful, let me know by dropping a thumbs up! And feel free to subscribe for more in-depth guides in the future.